They tell me they got it fixed.
That's what they tell us.
Don't hold your breath.
No. We are up.
Yeehaw. All right. Well, good morning, or good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, June 3rd, 2022. It's 1 p.m. We're here to conduct a special session of the Hunt County Commissioners Court. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order. We have Commissioner Hutchins, Strait, Martin, and Harrison present. I'm Judge Stovall presiding over the meeting. At this time, we'll have public testimony. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and should conduct themselves in a civil manner. The Commissioners Court cannot take action on items not listed on the agenda in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Concerns will be addressed by county staff. They may be placed on a future agenda or addressed by some other course or response. Daniel, got anything online yet?
Yeah.
Anybody from the public wish to speak? You're good. Come forward. State your name and address.
My name is Jeff Brown. Excuse me, I'm a partner with Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson. Our address is, I believe, 4613 Lee Street here in Greenville. We have an office just around the corner. I just wanted to just address the court. I know what's before the court today, and I just wanted to make sure that the court knows our staff. It's here locally, Serena Williams, Shirley Hepler, and Melissa Kirby, who are here. And just to reiterate that we've been here for 37 years here in Hunt County, representing the county. I've had the privilege of doing it for 23 of those years, since August of 1999. Also want to point out that we've got a lot of community involvement here with different organizations, and we support them locally. And I also want to take a chance to just give you a few numbers. I know it's dry, but I want to give you a few numbers. In the last 5 years, last 4 years, we've filed 503 lawsuits here within the county. I know that another firm here that's actually here today, those guys have only filed 85. And we've sold 465 properties here within the county within the last 4 years. We've initiated 64 warrants. Other parties who have bid on this account have only filed 6. With regard to resales, we've resold $414,000 worth of property. I think Ms. Williams is going to share with you all a little bit later that the value of those properties have increased from somewhere around $600,000 to almost $1.8 million once they were put back on the rolls. And again, I want to reiterate that we've had a long-standing relationship here within the county. I believe we've done an excellent job on behalf of the county in terms of collecting delinquent property taxes. And I hope that the court will see fit to continue that relationship.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Yes, Judge and Commissioners, I'm Wade Jen. I'm also a partner at the Linebarger Law Firm, and I'm one of the attorneys that for the last 11 years has had the honor of representing Hunt County as well as several of the other taxing authorities in the county for the collection of delinquent property taxes. Also, Brandon Lane is another partner with the firm. He's also actively involved in all the Hunt County work. You have a handout. I do want to point out a couple of things that are noteworthy, and this is all in the proposal that was submitted to the court as requested under the RFP. But the third or fourth page it's an illustration of all of the local jurisdictions surrounding Hunt County where we represent the counties alone, and this does not include all of the school districts, the cities, and the local taxing authorities that we also represent within all those counties. And you can see that we are the local option as far as delinquent tax collections. The following slide is actually a diagram of Hunt County itself. And what you can see is that we represent almost every taxing entity in this county, save for 3 school jurisdictions. We have all of the cities and schools within the blue areas with a couple of exceptions. And this is important because one of the main issues that I think the court has to consider is the question of what is the effect of having multiple law firms representing multiple taxing authorities against these taxpayers. And what you have to remember is for every delinquent tax case, there are collection efforts. With every collection effort comes the possibility of litigation, a lawsuit. When you have multiple firms, you end up sometimes having multiple lawsuits. So the efficiency of having one singular law firm representing all the taxing authorities is evident not just in the court docket, not just in the efficiency of the collections process itself, but also to the taxpayers. You have multiple court costs sometimes. You have multiple abstract fees. You have multiple expenses that these taxpayers are paying for every law firm that files a case. So it's much more efficient for all parties when you have one singular law firm filing for multiple taxing authorities. Finally, Court, I wanted to point out, sorry, I had a bad cold last time I was here, so I'm actually got my voice back this time. I did want to point out just a few comparative numbers. And you can see these are numbers specifically with regard to the Purdue firm, where we have taken control of collections for entities from the previous tax firm. And in almost every circumstance, you see a significant increase in collections as soon as we take over. There's also examples of where we have, where entities have elected to hire the Purdue firm and terminate our services, and those collections tend to go downward. And I think this is important, and it's not any better illustrated than what's happened right here in Hunt County with Greenville ISD. That's the next page. As you can see, in 2019, we took collections from the Purdue firm and immediately increased the collection numbers for Greenville ISD. And that trend has continued. So these are all factors. When you take politics aside, you take personalities aside, and you look at the hard numbers, the reality is the Linebarger firm is the best choice for Hunt County. And we'd ask for the continued privilege of representing you guys.
Wouldn't it be a fair question to ask on that comparison of the Greenville ISD that in those time periods, the property values have gone up probably 30 to 50%, so the taxes have gone up, and so naturally the money would go up following some percentage of what property values have gone up and increase budgets for all the entities.
That's absolutely a fair question, Judge. And that's why we include both the hard numbers on the report as well as the percentage as a collection percentage of the entire tax roll. So you have the actual percentages, and you can see that goes from 19.3 the last year of Purdue to 22.1, and then again up to 26.5. So we do have the hard numbers, and you're right, those will naturally increase as property values increase. But we also have the percentage of collections as a percentage of the tax roll.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak?
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. So my name is Sharina Williams, and I manage the Linebarger Greenville office here right around the corner. I'm also handle the resale program. It is a very active and successful program for tax foreclosure properties. It is designed to take the tax foreclosure properties and put them back on the tax roll. Once the tax properties are struck off to the jurisdictions, then we get them back on the tax roll. That is our main goal in order to generate more tax revenue for the county.
Would you speak closer to that mic, please, because you're low? Thank you.
After numerous properties are listed, once they are struck off, then we do put those on our website, and they are available for immediate purchase. And once we get a inventory of resale properties, then we do include those in our resale auctions. And we do have resale auctions throughout the county. We place signs on the properties. And this not only generates immediate revenue for the county, the city, and the schools, but it also generates future revenue as well. If you'll look on the second to the last page where it says value-added success, there is an example of, this is just a small snapshot of 3 vacant lots that were located in the City of Commerce. And at the time that they were on the resale program, they were valued, all 3 of those combined were valued at around $11,000. And now they do have 3 brand-new homes on all 3, on each of those lots that are valued more than $570,000. So that's just one success story that we have. Of course, there's numerous other similar stories to that as well. On the resale program within the last 3 years, it did collect $448,000 in immediate revenue, and currently those same properties are now on their appraisal values for over $1.7 million. And at the time that they were struck off to the jurisdictions, the value has increased by 180%. So like I said, this does create more tax revenue for the county, and also it generates for future tax revenue for many years to come. So just to share a little bit of my story here, personally, I'm very passionate about this tax collection contract. I joined the law firm with Lineberger in 1992, soon after high school, and I have collected taxes for Hunt County for 30 years. I'm born and raised here in Hunt County. My husband was born and raised here as well, and we raised our family here. I grew up in Cattle Mills. My husband grew up in Lone Oak, and our son is a firefighter here in Greenville. Same with my staff. I have Shirley Hepler and Melissa Kirby. They were raised here. They raised their families here in Hunt County as well, and they do live here in Greenville as well. So this account is very important to me. We are the local law firm here. We're just down the street from the courthouse, and we are honored to work in this community. We live here, we work here, and this is our community. So this is important to us, and we would greatly appreciate the opportunity to continue collecting tax dollars for Hunt County in our community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Judge Stovall, Commissioners, thank you for having us. My name is Patrick Woods, and I'm a partner at the Purdue Brandon Law Firm. This is my managing partner, Mr. Doug Burnside. And we just came, and I'll keep it quick, just to say thank you for allowing us the opportunity to submit the proposal. We stand by the information and the collection numbers that are in that proposal. We feel like they make a strong case for our law firm. We're here to answer any questions that you may have, but I just wanted to say thank you, and here to help any way we can.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Gentlemen, Commissioners Court, my name is Jason Cunningham. I own Benson Brothers Record Service, and I also own Morgan's Record Service. Before I start, I'd just like to say Jeff Brown's a nice guy, very nice guy, easy to work with. But on December the 2nd of 2021, we had a fiasco that occurred in seizure of property in Commerce, Texas. This actually happened December the 2nd, but several times prior to that, we'd been called out to seize some vehicles for the county to only be turned away because they said, oh, we've made a deal. So on December the 2nd, when they decided to finally go ahead and do this, they brought another record service from Greenville, Texas, who was not licensed, nor did he have a storage facility in order to do the impounds. When I questioned that, and I don't mind telling you I got upset, because I was upset because we'd worked several times and drew nothing, and the one time we're going to actually do something, then they used somebody else. So I called Randy Weiniger, who's not here. I expected him to be here today, but I called Randy and I said, what are we doing? Randy's comment was, Jason, I'm not out there, the lawyer's handling it, which was Jeff Brown. So when I show up, Randy's standing there. He just lied to me. So Jeff Brown says, hey, look, I was told this guy was cheaper than you. The whole problem that it comes into, gentlemen, the constables are responsible for the enforcement of a writ, not your tax assessor. Now, I know lawyers are lawyers, and all I'm going to say is this. From this point forward, I just would like for y'all to remember, it's not all about money. You have to deal with these people in a way that is compassionate, but you also have to understand, a lawyer is no good if he only tells you, I'll get you out of it if you get in it. A lawyer has to stand firm when wrong things are occurring. And I don't believe you had that in this fiasco December the 2nd. Randy Weiniger was apparently running the show on who was going to do what, and the disparity was in money There's other disparities that came into place, but as it turned out, the constables got involved. The vehicles were going to be taken to Ritchie Brothers auction in Fort Worth, which is 120 miles. This gentleman showed up with one truck. Weiniger had decided that they were just going to wait, which was going to tie everybody up for 8 hours. We had it moved in about 55 minutes. As I'm telling you, there is no excuse for my attitude sometimes, because I did lose my temper that day. But I lost my temper because I got lied to. Because I asked Randy Weiniger and Jeff Brown, I said, which one of you are lying? Jeff Brown said, it ain't me. And you know what? It wasn't him. But he still should have stood up to Randy and said, this is the way it's supposed to be. Thank you for your time. I'm here if you have any questions of me.
Thank you, Jason.
May we ask a question?
Sure.
I talked to two gentlemen yesterday, and this is a question, but at that point of time, was it Mr. Brown Lineberger that caused all this?
If you're asking for a
I'm
definitive,
asking your opinion, sir.
my opinion, it was a conglomeration of the two. Because the lawyer is supposed to be the smart one that says, no, you can't do it this way.
Was he surprised that this person did have not the credentials that he was supposed to?
Yes, he did not know.
He did not know that that other person, and I don't know who it was, okay,
Yeah, he has-
it's over there on 380 somewhere.
Has no storage facility and has no
Mike,
impound license.
in other words, you did not realize that you believe that he did not realize that he was qualified?
His statement to me was he was cheaper than me. He was $300, which won't pay the fuel. That was his statement to me.
I had talked, and I'm being sincere, I did not know that there were two constables out there.
Yes, sir.
And I had talked to, in which I noticed one of them's out there, right over there right now. And I asked them, I said, tell me something. Did the attorneys of Lineberger, were they surprised about whatever was taking place? Did they actually know that these people and all that? And both of them said no. In fact, they very surprised from what I understand it. And Mike Benson, right?
Yes, sir, Michael Benson,
Mike?
he's constable over there.
And Richie, I had asked them several weeks ago when I learned of it. I guess that would be it. But I want to tell you this right here. This commissioner's court did not have any idea until it was brought to our attention. And we owe you an apology because there was a mistake made.
Yes, sir.
And also, from my understanding, I guess the best thing to do is say, do not judge everybody by what caused a situation. And I'm sorry that it happened. I am truly sorry that it happened. I've known you. In fact, I said, who is that? Because I hadn't seen you in so long.
Yes, sir.
But and he told me, I said, man, I hadn't seen him. Basically, I'm going to let the court know that this gentleman worked along beside me back in 1980.
Yes, sir.
And understand that he very much would be outspoken on anything.
Yes, sir.
And so I know him to be that way. But like the whole thing in reference to life, as we are police officers, and were at that time, I still am, but we need to find the story for all of it and then say, really, what happened?
Yes, sir.
And I honestly believe, after talking to what people I have, that I believe there were other elements that took place that were not right also. And so therefore, I apologize that this did happen to you.
But unfortunately, Philip, we had to hear from a taxpayer. We didn't hear from two individuals or two different departments that we should have heard from.
Oh,
That's
I
the sad
agree.
part.
But then I was thinking about this, in actuality, who reports to who?
It's not about that. The
No,
first call we
well,
should have got
I'm
from.
just saying this.
Philip?
It is a
Philip,
problem. It is a problem.
the first call we should have gotten was from Jeff Brown. He works for this court. He doesn't work for Randy Weiniger. He doesn't work for the Record Service. He doesn't work for the constables. He works for this court. And for this court not to been put on notice was a failure in his mistake. And he's admitted to me he made a mistake and he apologized for that.
Good enough.
I will give him credit for that. He did own up that he failed to do it and he should have done it. He should have called us, and one of us immediately should have known what was going on with that kind of fiasco going on. And I apologize to you for having to do it also, Jason. I know that was not a good day for you. And turned out it wasn't a very good day for me either. After having to listen to all of it, I was plenty upset, and I'm still plenty upset with our tax collector for, apparently he was trying to make some kind of trade out of something. I don't know whether to benefit the county or himself. I don't know. It's between him and the good Lord, I guess, to know what the real action was on that.
Judge, and I guess this thing's off now. I mean, I have referred that to the DA's office on what has occurred, and they're supposedly still working on it because they have to refer it on to the Texas Rangers if there's a problem. But that has been brought to their attention too. But as I say, and I want to clarify this, Jeff Brown's a nice guy. But you've got to be able to say no. You have to be able to look at who you're representing and say, you can't do that, brother.
Because actually, we were set up, liability-wise, if this would have taken place the way it was going down originally, that would have set the county up liability. Is that correct?
The property was going to just an open-air field. There would have been no taking care of it. We have video, we have license by the state, we have lights, and we have 24/7 security. Where they were going was out in the middle of a field.
And your licensed record service.
Yes, sir.
So if he'd directed on the way, we'd have had a
Yes,
mess
sir.
on our hands.
I pay Hunt County about $50,000 a year in business and personal property taxes just to be in business here.
We appreciate it.
Anything else, gentlemen?
No, sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Daniel, anybody?
No, there's no.
Oh, sorry.
Good afternoon, Constable Valenzuela. In reference to what Mr. Cunningham was saying, I was one of the constables obviously there because I handled all the writs. That day, it did get a little bit of a fiasco, like he stated. When I realized what was going on, I stepped in and told Mr. Weiniger and Mr. Jason and Mr. Brown, I took control of the situation and told them this isn't going to happen. They're not bonded. They don't have any legal right other than to tow what they want to tow off their own lot. Okay? So I made the decision that day to call Benson Brothers and ask them if they wanted to come back and help us out. And they agreed with the law firm that we would seize the property and take it to their lot until they figured out how they wanted to auction it off with Ritchie Brothers or stay there. So I just wanted to say, like I said, once I noticed it wasn't going the way it should be, and this was the first auction, the first seizure that I've ever done, okay, as a constable. I realized something was not right. It was brought to my attention. I stepped out, got a second opinion, and then
From who?
the realization that, yes, this is not the way it's going to be. Again, I stepped in, made the decision, you're not going to do it. We're going to go with Benson Brothers because they are secured, locked, and in accordance with the law, they have to have all that up, to keep it secured.
Thank you for doing that, Reggie.
Yes, sir.
Who'd you get that second opinion from?
Sheriff Terry
There you
Jones.
go. That's good.
Thank you, Reggie.
Thank you.
Richie, thank you for stepping in and taking care of it. Unfortunately, it shouldn't have got to that situation.
I
anyway.
agree.
And obviously, once that writ is given, it's your name or the sheriff's name at the bottom of it.
Correct.
So it falls back to you guys.
And that's exactly.
Unfortunately, we had two other firms, I guess, get involved in this, and that's where you had to jump back in and do your job again. But again, thank you for taking care of the peace out there and getting the situation taken care of for us.
I appreciate that. And I do agree. Like I said, my name is on that writ, and that's why I ultimately said, no, we're not going to do it this way. This is the way it's going to happen, and if anybody has any issue, they can come talk to me about it.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yes, sir. It seems like, it just seems like the problem here stems from one person, and that's the person that called the wrong record service. And that's what's caused all this fiasco. I don't know if it's the lawyer's business to call the record service, but I think it's the person that called the record service out there has what's caused this problem.
Sure.
From this point forward, if something like this happens, my office is going to be responsible to contact the appropriate record service
That's
to
good.
get it taken care of. I've already made that decision, that I'm going to be calling them to make sure they're bound by law in accordance with the statute, what has to be done. So that shouldn't be an issue anymore.
Good, thank you.
May I ask you this?
Yes, sir.
Who's the one that's supposed to contact the constable or the sheriff or whatever police officer it is? Who contacts you?
What was that question? I'm sorry.
So who contacts them? Who decides what record service to use by law? Who's taking it in custody?
I am.
Yeah,
That-
Richie the
that's-
constable.
My name's on the writ.
That's right.
So I have all the responsibilities to the
Yeah.
property that's going to be seized. So I'm going to make the decisions from this point forward, which I apologize to the court that I didn't realize that at first. Again, this is my first one. I'm new in office and I'm learning every day. But once I found out what was going on, again, that's when I took the responsibility to do what I did. And it's going to be different from this point forward.
Good, thank you.
Richie.
All right, anybody else wish to speak? Nobody online, I guess, Daniel? Okay. Being no old business, no consent items, action item, let's see, we had budget amendment, I believe,
One budget amendment.
one budget. Entertain a motion to approve budget amendments.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners, you want to go to executive session before we discuss number one, or you want to discuss?
Executive session.
Entertain a motion to go in executive session under number one through four.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We're going to executive session at 1:27. Yes. Somebody want to tell them, we come,
Did you go back live? There we are.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's 2:30, we're back in regular session. Find my pager. Action item number 1, discuss report of RFQ review committee and take action on approving most highly qualified respondent for tax collection contract. Commissioners, I make a motion that we enter into negotiations for a contract with Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott, and Abernathy, Roeder, Boyd, and Hullett.
Second.
Got a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Any other business before the court today? Being none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. We're adjourned at 2:31.